Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. My name is Mr. Maxwell, and welcome back to another side quest about video games with myself and Exile, my part.
Hello!
Yeah, things happened.
Yeah.
Things didn't happen. I really wasn't paying attention. I was playing Destiny for most of the time. Yeah, so I wasn't really paying attention to the news.
If over the past weekend you've been paying attention to the news, the only thing was
the news that I was paying attention to was the BBC. With the whole Gary
the absolute dumpster fire of the BBC's own making. It was hilarious.
Yeah, he's back.
They announced he was back.
I mean, they were on the losing side.
Yeah, this whole thing smelled of a threat from the senior management to Gary Lineker to basically apologise, otherwise they'll fire him. Fully knowing that if they fired him, it'd be wrongful dismissal and it'd be sued for millions. But they hoped that he wouldn't call their bluff, and Gary Lineker called their bluff.
Yeah.
So they panicked. Only then decided to, we'll suspend you for a week while we figure things out. And then everyone else went, we're not doing it. And it was
the weirdest match of the day I've ever watched. Put it that way. It was the weirdest match of the day I've ever watched.
You might as well have watched stuff on YouTube because you got exactly the same.
Oh no, actually, you got worse.
Yeah, because you got no commentary.
Because usually on YouTube you can either watch fans commentating or you can watch Sky's little highlights things of it, which there's usually a commentator on there.
Because he had nothing.
And you got nothing on this one. It was just noise.
Oh, the Streisand effect was in full effect.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was good to see. And let's be honest, it's actually kind of nice to see BBC brought down a peg or two.
Especially the senior management of the BBC.
The BBC for the last, I'm going to say 5-10 years now, slowly.
Or at least 5.
I'm saying at least 5, but maybe about 10. They've been slowly, we're better than you. We know better than you.
Also,
even though
kowtow to our Tory paymasters.
Yeah.
Although we're independent.
Yeah. So
we're impartial unless you criticise the government.
Anyway, that's enough about politics.
Yeah. It was just fun to.
It was fun to see.
It was fun to watch the BBC just get pillared completely.
I just need it to happen to Sky now, and then I'll be happy. All will be right with the universe.
Yeah.
I mean, it won't happen to Sky because.
Well, no, there's different rules for Sky because Sky's.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just everybody that works for Sky. Just yes sir, no sir, free bags more sir.
Yeah. Anyway, on to actual games.
Yes, on to the games. Right, so this happened just over a week ago.
Yeah, later last week.
We didn't... At least I didn't know what was going on.
I caught mention of it, but I hadn't read it by the time we did it.
I only found out about it because I saw people making videos about it.
Yeah.
And that was after we made our video.
Yeah.
So
we're a week behind schedule
for this one anyway. But anyway,
it's fine. It means that we've had a week to think about things.
Well, yeah. Well, number one, we can talk about. We don't actually have to talk about the incident. What we can talk about is what I mainly want to talk about is the media's reaction, which was way overboard for what Yoshi P said.
Yes.
Right.
It is that thing.
And if you don't understand. And they have no idea basically, Yoshi P said is that they don't in Japan, the developers in Japan don't use the terminology JRPG for their games. Now, when I first heard about this, or at least saw the video about this, I thought, well, of course, you live in Japan. Why would you call a game in Japan, an RPG game, a Japanese RPG? Of course, no, that's not the reason why they don't call it that, because I'm a moron. It actually, in Japan, a JRPG is a derogatory term for those games, and that is mainly because of the reception around about 10 to 15 years ago.
Yeah, about 10, 15, say early to late 2000s.
I would say the PS3 era.
Yeah.
The PS3...
The Xbox 360 and the PS3
era of JRPGs, they got absolutely panned quite a lot. Some deserved it, obviously, because some were they were just bad. But some, the Lost Odyssey.
Is the poster child.
Is the prime example of a game that unjustly got pretty much destroyed by critics
in the West because of its game mechanics, despite the fact that it's actually one of the best stories, one of the best character acted scripts, and has
it's just
unique takes on.
In general, it's just a very good game.
Yeah, and it got lambasted because it has like your stereotypical tropes of random battles, like stereotypical like character-driven narrative.
Yeah, the thing that people like,
the tropes that you associate with what was called
a JRPG. Also, it also had a lot of the things that not everybody, but there are some people like there's just some people who just don't like random encounters.
Yeah,
which is perfectly fine. You can, but that's not something to pan a game over. You know, like if you don't like that, then you don't like that. But you like. Most likely, you're not going to play.
To be honest, it was going on in the PS2 era as well, because I remember a review for.
I'm only bringing the PS3 one in because that's what I remember.
That was when it really kicked off, but there was started inklings of it because the Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
I remember in the reviews, the reviewer going, "Yeah, you can actually avoid the battles, so you're not stuck in random encounters." And I'm like, "But I like grinding."
Yeah, but that's the point of the grind.
That's the point of the grind. To get You're going into boss battles under-leveled. Why are you upset that the bosses are hard?
Yeah, that was always the weird thing. It's like you'd get reviewers like reviewing JRPG games and going, "Oh, well, the boss is like massively hard," and you get to it and you absolutely destroy it because like you've actually done what you're supposed to do,
which is
and do like the little bit of grinding that you're supposed to do before the boss.
Yeah,
the boss is like level 5. When you fight the boss, you're supposed to be either at least level 5
or level 6
or higher.
Or in my case, overpowered to hell.
In my case, for a lot of RP, at least for the first boss, I'm usually like level 15 before I go in there.
This is the thing. This is the reason why I love like those type of games, is because it gives you the option to go into a hard boss over leveled as hell and just absolutely bitch slap. Yeah. For example, my run through on my channel with you. Or Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah, there's so many bosses.
We were overpowered for a lot of those bosses.
Yeah, we bitch slapped them.
I mean, the final dungeon, I was over leveled. I was over leveled by a long way. And
we cheesed it.
Yeah.
But
that's the great thing about those types of games, is that it lets you do that. So during this time period, though, like when Lost Odyssey was coming out, the Western media and Western game developers they weren't even hiding it. There was like this contempt.
There is a video on YouTube. I think there's a couple, but there's that one, and I know it's been shown on other people's videos, but there's this one where there's a Japanese developer asking a question at like I think it's a convention.
Yeah.
And he's basically just asking like, what can we do to like make our games better and stuff like that. And
yeah, his response, the guy's
response was, "Oh, just don't make sucky games. Your games suck. You're terrible," and all this sort of shit. Like what the fuck, dude? And here's the funny thing: that guy who replied that, no one's ever heard from him again. And the Japanese dude, and I can't remember his name, which fucking annoys me. He's ended up going on and making some really, really good games. He's been like director. I think he's actually also part of Final Fantasy 16. He's worked for. I know he's worked on some games for Square. I know he's worked on Nier Automata. That was one of the games. And I'm sorry if anybody says Nier Automata is not a good game. Fuck you.
Round the back.
I'm gonna take you out like Old Yeller. That's how you just how you gotta be. But yeah, the attitude to JRPGs at the time was very bad, and especially by reviewers.
To the point where you start thinking of like xenophobia levels. Like
sometimes, it's really bad. The annoying thing is like a lot of these people who wrote these reviews back then, they're now on Twitter screaming about fucking equality and calling other people out for things that they said like 5 to 10 years ago, and I'm just like,
pot kettle.
Hypocrites.
Now, don't get me wrong. People can change.
People can change
in 5 to 10 years, and if they've been open and like, back then I was a dick. I don't like my person back then.
Yeah, but
and I humbly apologise.
That's the point, though. Like, you can't. Even if you're like you've come out and said, "Well, I'm sorry," you can't then come along and then start like, unless someone's been absolutely obviously racist. Like
it depends on how you do it. If you're doing it in a
I'm on about the way I'm on about this.
Yeah, I know. Like
now.
If you're doing it in a constructive way, then fine. But if you're just basically saber rattling and getting the pitchforks and torches, then no, sorry, mate.
So
you are the last person that really should be doing this.
But anyway, so there was an interview with Yoshi P. Yoshi P explained why they don't call it JRPG, and also that he doesn't really like the fact that the Western media still call it JRPGs, which is understandable considering what JRPGs now is in that culture.
Yeah.
And the response from the media was it was a joke. It's absolutely stupid. There's
been good takes, mostly in social media and YouTube commentators have like actually gone into the details and actually.
Well, actually, they just actually read the interview that Yoshi P gave.
Yeah, and like, but also like coming to terms with like, yeah, okay, so it is we understand where he's coming from, and like. Yeah, we've been doing this absent-mindedly. Like me and you used to basically did call them JRPGs. We had no idea. We had no idea that this was being thrown about as a derogatory term.
Like I said, like I generally thought JRPG was just a Japanese role-playing game, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that in Japan it means something else.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's my bad.
Yeah, but like, probably we were naive. But I never looked, even during that time, I never looked at like what was classed as a JRPG and went, "Oh, that's a bad game."
But for me personally,
I love those games.
Most of my favorite games are JRPGs.
Yeah,
like the Persona series. I love Persona, Final Fantasy, the Tales series. You know, there's
and also it brings the question like. If JRPG literally stands for is literally what JRP stands for, then surely every RPG game coming from Japan should be classed as that, which means Dark Souls is a JRPG.
Yeah.
The Soul series, Elden Ring is a JRPG, but they don't. The Western media don't class that. Why?
Oh, because the game's good.
Because the game, yeah.
In their eyes, the game's good.
In their eyes, the game's good. Pokemon is the quintessential. Yeah. It ticks every single box, and yet they never call it a JRPG.
What did they call it?
They called it Pokemon.
They just call it Pokemon.
They called it Pokemon because it was culturally accepted by the West.
Yeah,
and therefore you couldn't derogatorily call it a JRPG. It's the hypocrisy of it all. So yeah, it is like I totally understand like them not wanting them to be called JRPGs because all they want to do is make an role-playing game. There's no reason for it to be called a JRPG.
Plus the amount of terminologies we have now.
Yeah.
For different RPGs.
To which the fucking Western media.
Yeah, we've actually got an article here. Oh, like what do we call it instead? And I'm sorry, just the amount of terminologies that we have for RPG games now is ridiculous for anybody to come out and be like, "Whoa,
what do we call it?
now?
What do we call it now?" Let's see. We have turn-based, action, narrative, story, character-driven, open world. Like. Pick one. Think of what the game is actually doing and pick the one that suits it. But no, you're too fucking far up your own fucking ass to think about that.
What do we call it now?
Which is this PC game or is this?
This is Games Radar.
Oh, Games Radar. Oh, well, that makes sense. Honestly,
if developers don't like the term JRPG, what do we use instead? The JRPG debate may already be too complicated to have an answer. You know what? Sometimes the stupidity of the games media it just makes me love them a
I
little
have.
bit.
I'm the thing is, when this whole like JRPG started, they used to call stuff like Skyrim and that, Fallout 3 and that, Western RPGs, and then they just dropped the Western.
Yeah.
Here's an idea, you fucking
You could just
arseholes.
call it an RPG.
Do what you did to the Western RPGs. Drop the blooming cultural moniker and put on the actual type of game. We'll give you examples. Front Mission, turn-based RPG, or mecha RPG.
Yeah. So there's a little bit here. It says, why is Yoshida saying 15 years ago when we're talking about games that are, in some cases, 40 years old? Well, 15 years ago puts us around 2008, squarely in the middle of the Xbox 360 and PS3 genre, which is what we said.
Yeah.
During that time, there was a pretty perversive sentiment among Western gamers that Japanese titles. No.
I'm going to stop you there.
Whoa, slow your
Back
horses,
up.
mate.
Back up.
Horses.
We're gonna correct this sentence for this person. So-called gaming journalists.
Game developers and gaming journalists, not gamers. Well, I mean, granted, there will have been gamers.
Yes, there will have been some. Just like I say, in every group there was a bunch of assholes. The only difference is the size of the group and the amount of assholes in that group.
Here's the thing: there'll be a number of people that just didn't like. They don't like role playing.
They didn't like those type of games. They would have not liked Final Fantasy 9. They would not have liked Final Fantasy 8 or Dragon Quest or any of those games. They would not have liked them. And you know what? That's fine. They don't have to like every single game. But the problem is that the media lambasted the entire genre of role-playing games coming from Japan because of the random battles, turn-based system, dungeon crawling, etc., etc., etc. And I read those reviews and went, "You're literally hating everything I like about these games. What is wrong with you?"
Yeah, pretty much. It might be difficult to fathom today in a world where one of the biggest stars in movies is loudly professing anime's influence on his films, but there was also a feeling back then that Japanese stuff just wasn't cool. oh dear. Now I am a anime fan.
Yes.
Or at least I'm actually, no, you know what? I'm someone who likes anime. Yeah. I'm going to say that, because like if you say anime fan nowadays on the internet, you get put with like the weirdo, the weirdo ones that like maybe get a little bit too much into
maybe
the anime, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. But the thing is, here's the thing: you are a bona fide 100% Bleach fan.
Oh yeah, which automatically destroys my credibility instantly.
To which I then go, yes, I like Bleach as well.
Yeah, it destroys my credibility, but it's perfectly fine. At least I'm not a Naruto fan.
Yes.
I shouldn't. You know what? I shouldn't really make fun of Naruto.
I know.
It just sucks.
Those fans got an entire story outline, finished, done, and finished, and got told, we're going to bring a brand new, all new story.
And you just got Naruto.
People, and you got Boruto.
Boruto.
Which is literally Naruto.
So apparently Japanese stuff just wasn't cool.
Apparently so.
At the time when Cowboy Bebop, Akira, Ghost in the Shell,
Standalone
Complex, and all that sort of stuff was coming out. Yeah, just Japanese stuff just wasn't cool.
Clearly.
Are you a moron?
It just was. No, here's the thing. It wasn't
Gundam Wing.
Yeah, it wasn't. Here's the thing, right? It wasn't uncool. It just wasn't the mainstream popularity it is now.
Yeah. Dragon Ball Z came out at this point. Dragon Ball Z
had been going for a while.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but like I say, there was only like the odd one or two. The sort of stuff that like it's acceptable. We'll let them have this.
Okay, I suppose. It just wasn't cool. The prevailing sentiment dictated that anime was at best for nerds and at worst for perverts. Japanese games were at best full of colourful, also wacky worlds, and at worst they were incomprehensible products of a foreign culture. You'd hear games dismissed with alarming regularity over being too Japanese, which, yeah, that did actually happen a lot.
Yeah.
I do remember that happening a lot, especially during the PS3 era, and that's what. But then again,
let's all be honest. We
I
had
don't
a whole
really-
bunch of brown games. Then.
I never really, like for the PS3, most of the games that I played, I mean, even now, most of the games that I play, like they're always big, bright, and colourful games. I've always gone that way.
Yeah,
It's like
because it's escapism.
I have on these videos come out over and over again saying that there was a time where games were just brown and they were fucking horrible to look at.
PS2,
and some of these
PS2, PS3.
Some of these games are absolutely critically acclaimed and people absolutely love them. Gears of War, Fallout New Vegas,
Killzone 2,
Killzone
3,
3,
not God of War, Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. There are so many games that people absolutely love, and that's perfectly fine. But for me personally, all I saw was brown and nothing else. It was just everything was just devoid of fucking colour.
Like it's why Halo is also like so. At least the original trilogy by Bungie. Why a lot more people like those games at that time, because it wasn't brown.
Yeah.
Well, Halo 3 became brown, but still.
Yeah, we just don't talk about them. We talk
Like
about the good stuff.
Halo 1 and 2, like it was very colourful, the environments were bright, and yeah, it's like but here's another thing. Like games are supposed to be a form of escapism. We're not supposed to be broad and like the bright, colourful. Like we grew up with friggin' on the Amiga.
Yeah.
With Dizzy.
The Amiga, we had a...
Zool! Remember how
Zool.
fucking Zool is
Oh,
literally
God.
just candy.
Yeah.
As
Zool.
its
That's
level
only-
design.
As you can see, our gaming choices have gotten better over time. What was I going to say? So, for me personally, like, I never looked at a JRPG, and I think a lot of normal people, not the media, a lot of, shall we say, gamers, you fucking medium people, a lot of gamers, at least the gamers that I knew, never had a problem with JRPGs being turn-based. It was, a lot of people just wanted, the thing is, if they didn't like turn-based games, they didn't play turn-based games.
Yeah.
If they didn't like anime aesthetic arc stuff, they didn't play it.
I mean, to be honest, let's be honest. I've been lamenting Final Fantasy's move away from their old school style of play.
This is probably why.
Well, yeah, this is probably exactly why Square Enix has took their flagship fucking title and turned it into what it's like,
I am hoping-
constantly changing the way the game plays.
I am hoping for, like, I don't know, because is it Square that does Dragon Quest?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm hoping for more Dragon Quest, because
Dragon Quest is amazing.
I love Dragon Quest. It's so good.
Do you know what? I wouldn't mind if there was as many versions as was it 8 with the Journey of the Cursed King?
Yes, the last one was, I think, 11. Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah, something like that. But no, I'm on about 8 because I love that
Oh,
game
if they
so
remade
much.
it.
Yeah, if they made as many versions of that as Skyrim has had,
Oh my
I would have
God,
probably
I would-
bought every single one. I
Yeah.
love that game so much. It is such.
I'm totally.
good-
Hey, look, I'm totally down for Atlas. Just re-releasing Persona 4. Just every new generation, just re-release the game. I'm
Just
fine.
give us-
If Skyrim can have a version for your fridge, I can have different versions of Persona 4. Thank you very much.
Yeah. But yeah, the reaction from I've read the interview and I understand where he's coming from.
I get it,
He's coming
yeah.
from. I totally understand, and I'm like thinking back, like I used that terminology, but it was never. I never knew
We used it. Yeah, the thing is, we used JRPG as a term of like, we just used it as Japanese role playing game, but we didn't use it in a negative term.
Yeah, we liked those games.
Yeah.
It was like it was a positive for us.
Yeah.
We didn't know that it was being
If
battered
someone,
around
if someone
by...
said, if we read something, oh, it's a JRPG,
That was a pod.
that was like, we would go, oh, really? Okay, and we'd have a look at it.
Yeah.
That was our draw. That's how we got in. But that was then. That's not now. And obviously in Japan, it's different.
Yeah.
And we don't live in Japan.
And I totally understand where he's coming from. But the fucking media's reaction of, well, what do we call it now? It's like, for fuck's sake,
the
you
media,
petulant child.
The media...
It is literally the temper... It's like a temper tantrum of a petulant child.
It's not even that.
I call it this thing.
It's the whole thing of, like, I've seen some articles basically calling him a baby and all this other absolute shit. And it's just like, you know what? If it was the other way around...
Do you know what? The thing is, though, I guarantee you they haven't even read the interview.
Probably.
They probably haven't. They've read the headline and gone, oh, well, and then had a hissy fit like a little baby.
And now they're doing this whole fucking, well, what do we use instead? What do you mean, what do we use instead?
We've got plenty of terminologies you can use. Pick one!
Oh my god.
Dark Souls, Dark Souls, a...
Action RPG.
Action RPG. Elden Ring, action open world RPG. Nier Automata.
Open world RPG. Action RPG if you want to use that. Yeah, a lot of games are action RPGs.
Dragon Quest, a narrative or turn-based RPG.
Yeah, Octopath Traveler, turn-based RPG. Final Fantasy Tactics, strategy RPG, or Triangle Strategy.
Yeah. Fire Emblem, strategy RPG.
Or character-based RPG, if you want to go that far.
Or narrative.
Yeah. So it's not... It's not hard. We've got terminology for it. We don't need to just think of something brand new. We've even used Japanese games as our example.
We've all been actually. Do you know what? They've all been Japanese games that we've been using as our examples. Jesus fucking Christ!
Right.
It's just.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, I think we should move on. Speaking of Forsaken.
Speaking of Japanese games. Japanese companies, shall we go to Forsaken? Square Enix, basically, as everyone knows, the studio behind Forsaken, we spoke about this last week, has been closed.
Yeah, they're going to do the DLC because they've kind of committed to it.
Yeah, and then that's it. Square Enix are disappointed with Forspoken. But they're still excited for NFT games, which is not the thing I wanted to hear.
No.
After the,
change of leadership.
But I mean, hey. At the same time,
we can only point out the following.
What we need is a full-on Yakuza style, like takeover. There needs to be a guy who rips off his shirt and jacket. Somehow, I don't know how he does that at the same time.
I mean, that's Kazuma.
That's Kazuma. No, it's just everyone. It's everyone in Yakuza.
Yeah, that's the Yakuza series for it.
That's how they do it. Like I don't know how.
Apart from Majima, because
they literally. I don't understand. Like here's the thing. It's actually physically not possible to do it because what they do is they grab their shirts.
It's the rule of
they grab their shirt and they just do that. There's no ripping sound. There's nothing. They just take it off from their chest.
People who are trying to figure out what Mr. Maxwell when he said just do that. He's literally just pulling out his t-shirt and then just yanking his arm.
They just do that.
And the shirt, the jacket, the shirt and tie, if they're wearing one, comes off.
No rips, nothing.
But it's the rule of cool.
It is the rule of cool. God, I love the Yakuza games. They're so stupid. I love them so much.
They're also RPGs.
Yes, they are. I don't know. Actually, what would you call them?
That's an action RPG.
Would you say action RPG?
Yeah, I would say an action RPG.
I'd say action. Yeah, I'd go action RPG.
Action or narrative RPG.
See, one of the two. One of the two. Yeah.
See, we're giving you options. Western Games Media. Granted, you'll watch this, but who
nobody watches this. It's perfectly fine.
Anyway, back to Square Enix.
They're committing to NFT games, which is just great. Just the very thing we wanted to hear.
Well, we will once again offer our services as the people in the room in the office to go. Yeah, that's a bad idea, and this is why.
Why? I don't understand.
Honest to God, you will save so much money because you won't waste it all on making a product that won't sell.
I don't understand this obsession with NFTs from games companies now, especially considering the whole industry seems to be going down the pan.
Yeah.
at the moment.
Also, any game that has NFTs
Are they thinking
or
this is
announced
gonna
with
be-
NFTs is literally a dead game on arrival.
Are they thinking this is going to be like, you know how like the cryptocurrency, it goes down and then back up and then down and then back up?
Do you know what I think it is? I think because Square Enix usually are like 5 years behind the curve on certain trends.
Yeah, no,
Like
that's true.
live services and
Yeah,
whatever
that's true.
Forsaken was supposed to be. I think they're just the same here. They're just 5 years behind the curve. So in 5 years' time, they'll realise, NFTs are not the thing.
It turns out NFTs are not what we need to sell.
So
What I don't understand is like Square Enix, you're a multi-billion organization.
yeah, multi-billion-dollar.
You have your hands in, especially in the entertainment industry. You have your hands, at least in Japan, in so many fucking pots. Why are you doing NFTs? You don't need to. You've got your game side, you've got your TV side, you've got your animation side. Because if in case anybody doesn't know, Bones, the animation studio, is owned by Square Enix. You've got your manga side because you've got I think I can't remember what it's called. It's Weekly something. You've got that. You've got your merchandise with the little figures and all that sort of stuff. It's just like,
yeah, don't sell me
you
NFTs.
really don't need to do NFTs.
Don't sell me NFTs. Sell me little figurines. You know, I'm literally looking at a little Vivi.
So actually, you know what? Sell me a big Vivi figure. I will buy that shit up.
A Vivi plushie.
I think there is a Vivi plushie.
Sell more of them.
Yeah. Actually, I tell you, there is one thing on the Final Fantasy
Plushie
14 store.
chocobos, plushie Moogles, plushie. Whatever.
You've got the Nier Automata anime's just come out. That's doing pretty well, even with the delays that's happening because of obviously COVID. It's no one's gonna watch this video, so I'm fine with saying COVID. YouTube doesn't scare me. I'm so small, you can't do anything to me, YouTube.
You don't even know I exist.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to leave that noise. Anyway.
It is, isn't it? It's good to know.
Anyway.
No,
Like, just
focus on that. What are you doing? Why are you going for NFTs? Just why?
I mean, hell, like I say, I think it's just because they're doing the Square Enix thing of being behind the curve by roughly around 5 years.
That's probably about right.
You know, they come out with a whole bunch of live services 5 years after the live service market is saturated as hell.
Yeah, that's true.
Needless to say, all of them fail.
All of them fail. Here's the thing: they could have worked if they had actually just put effort into them.
Made decent games, yeah.
If they were just actually good.
I was hopeful that the change in leadership would be a change of direction, but clearly, nope.
Apparently not.
But another part of me is like, yeah, they keep saying it, but they've actually done nothing about NFTs in a gaming sense. Like, they've sold fucking pictures.
They've got that. What is it? The Neo Genesis thing that they're doing.
Yeah,
they've got that, but I don't.
That's not.
Here's the thing. I've heard a lot of people being like, "Oh, we're making an NFT game." I've not seen an NFT game.
There is actual NFT games. Granted, 99.9% of them are all scams and being hacked.
Okay, so here's the thing. Firstly, are they actually a game? Because if it's just things of pictures, that's not a game. Like, it actually has to have some sort of gameplay.
I mean, there is gameplay.
Is it? No. Is it actually gameplay? It's not just a walking simulator of you looking at pictures.
I'm trying to think of the game. There is some which actually have actual game mechanics, but they're still. I wouldn't put it this way, right? If it wasn't for the NFTs, they would literally be shovelware. They're not good games usually. But anyway, apart from like your single person who asks for $10,000 Kickstarter, and then suddenly all of a sudden they disappear. Yeah, there's an awful lot of those in the NFT gaming market, but
not surprised. Not surprised there.
Yeah, it's a shame. And again, we offer our services to Square Enix to be the people in the boardroom to go, How about we not do that?
So I guess this is the thing, right? You've got your big game coming out, your big flagship game.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16 is coming out.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A couple of months, if that.
Mm-hmm.
How about just leave the NFTs alone
And focus on your game.
and focus on your games?
Yeah.
You've been doing really well at that, apart from Forsaken and Babylon's Fall and Avengers and.
Your mobile games.
Okay, you've been doing really well at the Final Fantasy front. Okay, I made it better.
You know, the stuff that you aren't fucking over to.
And Dragon Quest. And what was the other game that did really, really well?
Octopath.
Octopath and Kingdom Hearts 3. You know.
Yeah, stick with the stuff you are good at.
Yeah.
Like making games.
Yeah.
Actual games, not
Yeah.
live services, not social commentary stuff, or whatever the hell Forsaken is supposed to be.
Forspoken was not a social commentary thing. I mean, it tried to be, but it was not.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what Forspoken was supposed to be because it's like it's stuck in the early 2000s in its like storytelling. Its combat is clunky. What gets me annoyed with Forsaken is when it first showed it, I was like interested, like, oh, let's see where this goes. It's an isekai.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And when they first showed off the potential combat, I was like, okay, I'm gonna see. I want to know how it actually works. And then they never showed how it worked. And then I watched someone play, and I was like, oh.
This is just bad.
Oh.
It's just bad.
But anyway, moving on.
So yeah, Square, please just focus on games, or your manga side, or your animation side, or
just you don't do live services and don't do blockchain/NFTs.
Just ignore that. Anyway, moving on. Starfield is to be delayed till September. This is, to be fair, not a surprise.
No,
I'm not surprised.
I mean, granted, this is the first actual release date.
Yeah.
Although it had been slated for release in 2022, then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And then it got pushed back to first half of this year.
Yeah.
So that's up to June.
And
now they've announced September.
Now it's going to be delayed to September. Personally, I think this is a good thing, because let's be honest, you really don't want a Fallout 76 or even a Skyrim
or Cyberpunk
situation with this, because this is Xbox's big
only
game at the moment. It's their only big game that they've got at the moment, and they need this to go perfectly well. They can't have another Halo on their hands. So this is
which I may also
add.
Xbox leadership is primarily one of the reasons why Halo Infinite
is as bad as it is.
Performed as bad as it did, because they basically fucked over the developers. I mean, don't get me wrong, the developers haven't really done much with the Halo franchise. That's a good thing since getting it, but still,
yeah,
you're kind of putting them up against
this. I mean, to be honest, with the last Xbox thing, that direct thing, Starfield wasn't on it. So this kind of explains why it wasn't on it.
Yeah.
Because you would think, well, hold on, Starfield's coming out soon. Why didn't you put that on?
Yeah. Also, when we actually saw what we think is actual gameplay, I'll be honest, didn't fill me with much excitement.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, to me, it just looked like No Man's Sky. In all honesty, it just looked like No Man's Sky.
That's the thing. It looks like No Man's Sky.
But that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You might, if you like No Man's Sky, you might like this.
Yeah. My point being is, like, Bethesda don't have the free pass they used to for.
Well, yeah. As long as what I'm saying is, like, if this game, that only works is if this game comes out buggy as fuck.
Yeah. Like
the last couple of games that they've done.
I think, to be honest, considering the fact that, like, Fallout 76 was the clusterfuck it was, and
Fallout 4
was
that's another game. There you go, Fallout 4. That's a game that was critically acclaimed, and I look at that game and I just think this is garbage.
Like I said, I've complained multiple times. Fallout 4 is not a bad game. It's just a terrible. It's a terrible Fallout game.
No, I don't even like it as a game. I think it's a bad
Starfield
game.
is going to have the whole thing of like it's going to have 1,000 worlds. It's going to have
It's not going to.
It's going to be awfully wide and shallow as hell.
No. Look. It's like I've said before. Like if anybody actually thinks, because this is Todd Howard who said this. Okay, so if anybody actually thinks there's going to be like over 1,000 worlds, all different from each other, you're smoking something, right?
You said this last.
He is a liar. He is a liar and a charlatan.
Yes.
All right. You should know this from Fallout 76. You know, with 16 times the detail.
Looks
I played
almost
Fallout 76. There is not 16 times the detail. I'm telling you right now.
If there's 16 times the detail to Fallout 4, then
but back to
I'm a member of the royal family.
Back to Starfield. The delay, in my personal opinion, is a very good thing.
A delayed game is eventually good. A rushed game will always be bad.
Yeah. I think it's a good thing because the more just because it's Bethesda, the more time Bethesda have on making their game, the better.
My concern is because it's still using the creation engine.
It's still going to be crappy.
It's still going to be buggy. I still feel there's going to be bugs in it, and it's going to be the case of you've delayed it and it's still buggy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give this the sort of free pass that Fallout 4 got with some of its bugs, and Skyrim or New Vegas or hell even Fallout 3, because when Fallout 3 came out, it was no one or Oblivion, no one was doing the stuff that Bethesda were doing then. And nowadays that's Bethesda have been surpassed. So Bethesda really needs to tighten all the nuts and bolts on this game. But also a lot of people are saying that the gameplay looks a little bit archaic.
Well, yeah, if it's in the same engine, it's gonna be kind of like Fallout and Skyrim.
Yeah,
how the gameplay's gonna be,
which is concerning. But at least it's given more time for it to be given a bit of polish. And I'm not wanting this game to come out terrible. I want this game to come out and be good. I want Starfield to be a good game, because I don't want people to work hard on a project and do what crunch and whatever they're doing to get the game out. Yeah. I don't want all that time and effort that those people that have actually made the game to go to waste. Because they're the ones that have put the most effort in. They'll get the least recognition, and they'll get the shaft if it goes wrong.
Oh yeah.
So I want it to do well, but I no longer look at Bethesda and go, okay, I can give you a free pass on this.
I want it to do well because I want Xbox to actually start doing something,
Yeah.
Because as much as like we've said before with Sony own most of the market.
Yeah.
Because they've just kicked the shit out of Xbox for the last 5 years.
We keep saying, I want Microsoft to do well because it keeps Sony on.
Exactly. It puts Sony in a fight.
Yeah.
And so if we can get more Xboxes sold on the sense of there's actually good games and not like my Xbox One is basically just a media thing of where I watch Netflix, Prime, and everything
Blu-rays.
else, and Blu-rays. Yeah, I don't actually game on my Xbox anymore
because there's nothing on it.
Because there's nothing on it. I've completed everything I've got for it, and there's nothing that I've wanted for it other than the one. I suppose it's Gears 5, but I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Starfield being delayed, not a bad thing in my eyes. I think this is good. I also think Starfield is going to be good when it comes out. I do think so. I think mainly because you're gonna no. It's mainly because what I'm thinking is you're gonna have your Bethesda fanboys buy this anyway, no matter what.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that's a decent amount there, and then I think you've got enough people who already own an Xbox who are going to buy this because let's be honest.
The problem is also it's going to be instantly on Game Pass. Day one.
Yeah, but the thing is that this might also get more people to get Game Pass.
Well, that's the plan behind it. But anyway, I will wait to reserve judgment.
Actually, speaking of Game Pass, part of me is like, because PlayStation do it, they've got their Game Pass now. I mean, it's not as good as Game Pass. You totally understand. But, like, I prefer PlayStation's method of theirs to Game Pass. Game Pass confuses me.
What in?
Right, so PlayStation, for example, PlayStation do, right? You can now play. I think Ragnarok is now on there.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of their big flagship games. I know Horizon's on.
Yeah,
now.
Horizon's the last.
So you can play Horizon Forbidden West on the thing, right?
Yeah.
Now, for a little bit, for I think about 6 months. I want to say 6 months. It wasn't on the thing. So if you wanted to play it, you had to go buy it, and I understand that. Because you want people to play it, you want people to buy the game.
Yeah, the people who are going to play it day one are probably going to be the people who buy the game.
Exactly, right? Whereas if you put it on Game Pass,
those people who are going to buy it are just going to get it on Game Pass.
Are just going to get it on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So, like, how much you actually selling this game at retail price for? Because if they're only buying it on Game Pass, now let's say all of them, let's say every Xbox player has a Game Pass, right? How much are you losing? Because you got to think, Game Pass is only what, a tenner a month here. It might be a little bit more.
I think it's Microsoft trying to become the Netflix of games, and in one sense, that's a good thing. I.e., the whole like it's a massive library, you just play a subscription. But
the thing is,
my concern is this. What happens when eventually Microsoft pull the plug? Because we know the triple game industry, and I include Sony and Microsoft in this as well, they don't actually give a shit about like the historical legacy of games.
Yeah.
They don't care about like, I mean, you just have to look at Konami.
Konami's like
Konami is the prime example of not caring about its amazing roster of video games and the legacy that
it's IPs.
It's IPs.
It's IPs. It's got one of the best IP libraries
and
going.
it just shits on it.
Yeah.
I mean, Granny, don't get me wrong. They're doing some good things.
We're gonna praise you for your Silent Hill stuff. It's really good that you're bringing it back.
And the fact that you've let Dead Cells do some Castlevania stuff, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Don't stop doing what you're doing.
Don't think we're gonna let just all is forgiven for what you've done.
Yeah,
it'll take an awful lot more than that. Anyway, so on one hand, having to get it's back to the whole thing of like streaming versus owning the actual DVD or Blu-ray. Like I personally would like to own the physical copy.
Yeah, if there's something that I really like, I want to own the physical copy of it, right? Because there are some games that I've got downloaded only.
Yeah.
But like I play them and I'm thinking, I'm probably never gonna buy this if it was physical. I mean, now it's a bit more like, oh, do I download this game?
I boil it down to this though, right? I would rather have physical copies of everything that I truly want to own than digital, because it's definitely a lot easier for me to just point someone to a bookshelf and go, look at all of this that I've got, instead of, I'm going to show you my entire movie collection. Let me just boot up my PC first, please.
See this thumb drive? It's got all my movies that I like on it.
See this giant list of letters and text? Yeah, that's my entire movie database. No, I don't. No. There's something more pleasing to me that I've seen like a bookshelf full of like movies or books or music. Or
it's so much better.
It feels so much more satisfying to like just finger through all of them.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Also, if you've got a bookshelf, and you're rich enough, you can always make a secret passageway.
Yes.
As you can see, this is how my brain works. My brain's like, yes, I want all the bookcases so that I can make a secret passage to somewhere.
Anyway, back to Starfield, because that was one hell of
a back to Game Pass, right? So if we think about it, right, just on a monetary value, like
that,
I understand why they've done Game Pass, but at the same time, I'm like, there's a lot of games that you've put on there that have been released like day one.
Yeah.
That you're not going to get money for now.
What they'll be doing is they'll be number crunching and going, how many people own the Game Pass? How many people do we think would get that game? Would we lose money? compared to there'll be a lot of number crunching in the back.
Maybe, yeah, I know that, but at the same time, I'm just sort of like, I don't know. I feel like you're losing money. Like you're throwing money away.
From a consumer point of view, though.
From a consumer point of view, it's perfectly fine. But
it is the better option.
As somebody whose job it is to sell things.
Now, if it is viable to continue doing it the way Microsoft is doing it, is another question. But here's the thing: it's Microsoft.
It is Microsoft. They can afford. They can afford
the company can literally almost print money on a daily basis.
It's just my worry is that because of Game Pass, there are going to be some games that don't make the money that they think it should make. And
if it's
what happens is what happened to 343, where they just sack a load of people to make up for it. That's my worry.
Yeah. The thing is with 343 and Halo is that it wasn't just the Game Pass.
It wasn't. I'm not saying
Halo
that. The
very fact that they went, oh yeah, the multiplayer is free to play.
But the thing is, my worry is that. Is like, oh yeah, this Starfield, it's coming to Game Pass day one. So it's okay, right? So
right. In regards to that, Microsoft own Bethesda, so it doesn't really
but they
hurt them
343
as much. Yeah, no, but like I say, 343 was screwed over by more than just being on the Game Pass. It was the whole live service model and the fact there was very little content and the fact that they gave the multiplayer, which is one of the main drivers for people to play Halo, for free.
Yeah, that's true.
That's literally like that's
like COD giving you the multiplayer for free.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it gives you Warzone, but let's be honest, Warzone sucks.
It does.
It's not very good. I don't care what anybody says. It's not very good. The new meta of burning shotguns is the most annoying thing. Here's the thing: it's even annoying to use because it's not satisfying. It's just shoot. Woo! I did something.
Do the shotguns not have the oomph they used to have?
They do. Well, they still have the noise and all that, but when you do it, you just feel scummy. Just feel scummy, like a pathetic little weasel. That's how I feel.
Anyway.
There's no effort. You just run forward and shoot things. But like I said, my main worry is that how much have they spent on Starfield?
The thing is regardless of how much money it is, if they're going to sack people, they're going to anyway.
I know. But
it's just the excuse they use.
That's my thing. We already know that these companies will just sack people off just to make a bit of.
Yeah.
Just to make a bit of cash, or just for heavens forbid, because they didn't reach their quota, so they can get their bonuses.
So the share price didn't rise by 0.3%.
Yeah. Oh no, they can't get their bonuses. I'll tell you what,
it rose by 0.29.
We'll sack about 300 people, right?
Yeah.
We already know that they do this. So if you think about it, if Starfield doesn't make the money that they think it's going to make, what are they going to do? And primarily, if games on Game Pass don't make the money that they think they're going to make, it's mainly because it's on Game Pass. Because why would you buy the game when I'm already subscribed to something that gives me the game?
They will, like I say, there will be a whole bunch of number crunchers in the back, working out what they expect, extra sales of Game Pass, how many compared to
Game Pass is still the best deal for consumers. It hands down. I'm not knocking it.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. I think it's fantastic. I just, as somebody who works in an industry where it's their job to sell things, I don't understand the mechanism of releasing something and giving it away for free, basically for free,
because
on day one.
It means those people that download it will be constantly, basically they'll be paying the subscription. So it's a subscription model that they care about.
Yeah, I suppose.
So if it drives more people to pay the subscription model, then they'll class it as a success.
I suppose.
But again, that raises my concern, and I have the concern for the PlayStation Plus and Elite extra all that.
The thing is, like I said, with the PlayStation I think the PlayStation Premium is a bit of a as much as I have bought it, I do think it's
A little bit much.
it's a little bit much for what they're asking you for what they're asking you to pay, and they're not really giving you as much as it's like. I mean, granted,
It's getting
better, but it's still nowhere near as good as the Game Pass.
And as I say, I would like them to get the backlog catalog of PS1 and PS2 games updated a lot faster than what they're doing, because there's an awful lot of good games. Like I say, if all Sony needs to do is unlock, basically just give us the vast majority of the PS2 era.
Give me Bloody Raw. Just give me Bloody Raw.
Give us the PS2 library of games that they had then, and
give me Fur Fighters.
Fur Fighters,
with its janky
Burnout
controls.
3,
Burnout 3. Final Fantasy 12.
Final Fantasy 12, although I've already got the HD remix of that.
You know what, actually, we could do that. We could do Final Fantasy 12 next.
Yeah, we could do.
Yeah.
We could.
Because we haven't done a collab in a while.
I know we haven't. Well, we finished Cyberpunk and Frostpunk, and I've got a new PC coming, so that's the reason why I haven't been doing videos.
Yeah, I know. We need to finish Sniper Elite.
Yeah, we need to finish.
We can get Sniper Elite done.
Yeah,
and then we'll figure out what we're doing next.
Yeah. But anyway, we're digressing. So yeah, Starfield has been delayed. I'm going to basically say I don't know. I'm hoping that it is to iron out any bugs that they've found. Although it is actually the first time they've got an actual date for release. So the whole thing of like it's been delayed from the beginning of this, like first half of this year. While yes, it's technically a delay, there wasn't an official like yes, this is being released on this date.
It was first half of 2023. They said so. It wasn't like a confirmed
it's
date.
not that massive of a shock, but again, like I'm no longer giving Bethesda the free ride they used to regarding their games anymore, because like other people have done what they do and done it better. So
actually, speaking of which, games that I'd argue have done better. That Forgotten City, is now on the PlayStation Premium. You know, the one that was done by X. I think they were actually X. Devs, and it's all to do with like the fall of Rome, and you get to.
I'll keep an eye. I'll have a look at it.
It's pretty good.
Anyway, speaking of delays,
does anybody remember the Suicide Squad?
Yes,
showcase.
Last week we ranted pretty hard against that game, and why have on the basis of why have you fucked over your own IP? Why have you tied this giant rod behind your back? Why have you done that?
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has reportedly been delayed to polish the game.
There's nothing. There is no amount of polish that's going to save the fundamental flaw of the game.
First off, for a lot of people who are like, this might be a good thing because it might fix a lot of the problem. They're only delaying it by a couple of months apparently, so there is no way.
It's like a 6-month delay. Max.
We are not getting they're not going to be getting a brand
for
new
them
game.
To fix what we don't like about it. It would have to be built from the ground up again. They'd have to take it all apart and rebuild it from scratch. Because you're talking about basically changing the fundamental gameplay mechanics of the game. Not happening. The other theory from some people is that they're going to release it in a more quiet part of the year.
Which is probably what they are doing.
And it was
originally stated to be released in around about the same time as Final Fantasy 16, I think Starfield.
Yeah.
And there was another game that's quite big coming. Like for the life of me, I can't remember. But yeah, it basically was.
Zelda.
Zelda, yeah. Tears of the Kingdom. It wasn't going to. It probably wasn't going to win.
It was going to fall into obscurity, and I think it still will, because I look at that game and go, "No, this is not what I wanted from a Suicide
I think for me personally, I'm not buying this game.
No.
Me personally. If it comes on PlayStation Premium, or the PlayStation thing where I can download it,
or Microsoft
or Game Pass, then I'd probably give it a go, but that's about it. But then again, like I've said before, I like games live services.
Yeah.
I will always look at a live service.
The thing is like, this is not the game I wanted from.
Oh no, it's not the game I wanted. It is not the game that I wanted. I thought we were getting...
It's Rocksteady, isn't it?
Rocksteady. I thought we were pretty much getting a Suicide Squad game of Arkham.
Yeah.
That's what I thought we were getting.
Where the characters would have their own unique combat style. I thought that as well. I was looking forward to seeing like how Boomerang and Harley Quinn play differently.
Because what I was expecting, I still don't understand why Avengers didn't do it, and it still baffles my brain why they didn't. But it does. By the looks of things, it's the same in this one. They don't do it. Why can you not do team up attacks? Like every fucker does it. It's in the comics. It's in the movies. It's in the TV shows. They all do it. They all do random team up attacks.
It's not like it's team up attacks. Is it unable to do in games thing because
if Marvel Ultimate Alliance can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, Marvel Ultimate Alliance had the fastball special.
It had tons of stuff. It had tons of team up attacks. Like you could fire Iron Man's iron blasters at Captain America's shields to redirect things.
Yeah,
it was just like I don't know about Ultimate Alliance 3. I can't really remember what they did, but yeah, you could do on Ultimate Alliance 2. You could team up characters. It was great.
I think Ultimate Alliance 2 was wasn't it that you could do stuff with Captain America and Cyclops as well?
Yeah, you could
Cyclops is beaten. Yeah, you could but there were special attacks that certain characters could do together for special effect, and it came out with actually X-Men. Ultimate Alliance.
X-Men. What was it called? X-Men Legends.
X-Men Legends and Legends 2.
PS2. I want those two games to come to the PlayStation.
Oh god, yes.
Premium. I would down. Oh my god. Look, you've already given us. Although I would like it on the premium. You've already given us Baldur's Gate 2.
Yeah.
We've got that back. Now can we have X-Men Legends, please?
Yes.
Just give me X-Men Legends. Either 1 or 2. They're both very, very good. If you want to give us both, that's fantastic. But if you only give us 1, that's fine as well.
Yeah, even if it's just the first one. I mean, hell, X-Men Legends 1, I was a fan of Magma.
Who actually becomes a character in the comics.
Yeah.
As well as the cartoon series.
Ultimate Volcano was just mwah. Anyway.
But yeah. So there's you won't be able to do any of that because it's all shooty stuff.
Shooty bang bang.
And it's just oh my god, why? But yeah, we're not going to be getting anything. In my opinion, there's not going to be anything significant changed in this game.
No,
because really going to change
the fundamental flaws of the game are the fundamental game mechanics. The whole everyone is flying around it's Crackdown.
Why does Captain Boomerang have a sniper rifle? That's literally Deadshot's thing. That is literally Deadshot's thing.
This is the thing, right? They've made by doing what they've done, right? They've literally made Deadshot's whole unique thing of being I'm the shooty bang bang guy.
He's redundant now.
Yeah, it's like
his thing now is he's got the guns on his arms and he has a jetpack. But that's his thing.
But that's still what is the point? What is the literal point of being the shooty bang bang guy when everyone is shooty bang bang? Yeah, it's just you had such a good IP. This is what annoys me the most. You have an amazing opportunity with this IP, and you decide to make a live service. Everyone plays the exact same fucking way. What is the point of having different characters?
We're going to be getting more characters now.
They're going to play exactly the same. It doesn't matter.
I swear to God, if you give Bane a gun,
this game is not going to last long enough for Bane to show up.
If they give Bane a gun, I swear to God,
this is not going to last long enough for Bane, because they'll have the plan. They'll have a roadmap of this will be the first character, and do you know who it'll be? It'll be fucking Lex Luthor. Yeah, because they've already got the models.
Yeah, it will be.
They've already got the models for him. They've probably already got everything in game, so they don't have to do too much.
Oh God, we're going to see Lex Luthor holding a gun. That's just wrong.
I know it is.
Why is he going to be? He's got a fucking suit with guns on it.
He has a kryptonite gun. He has his kryptonite suit, which fires kryptonite laser beams. Why would you want a gun?
I mean, like, I do. The thing is, right, as much as I've said I'm not going to get it, and I'm not going to be buying this game. I do want to play the game because I've said before, I'm a DC fan. Like, so I do want to know
what the fuck's going on.
And the other part of me is like, there is no humanly possibly way you can explain to me how Harley Quinn, Shark King, Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang beat Superman.
Doesn't happen.
It's not going to happen.
No.
There's not enough. They're not.
Look, I already know they're not going to kill them.
And I watch wrestling. There is not enough wrestling juice in the world that you are going to make me believe that those four are able to take down Superman. Like, not a chance. If you had to put Mongol or one of the really big superpowered guys in there, then I would be like, okay, so maybe.
Hell, you could have even decided just for shits and giggles from Darkseid in, and that would have made more sense. And anyone who knows the lore of DC and Darkseid himself knows how fucked up that would actually be and would never work in a million years.
Oh yeah, like, I mean, you could put like what if they want to put Doomsday in it? You can't give Doomsday a gun.
That's the whole antithesis.
He enjoys punching things and destroying things with his bare hands.
I mean, hell, his entire anatomy is built to just rip, tear, and maim things with his bony, pointy arm things.
Yeah, you cannot give Doomsday a gun. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
This is again, we've talked about this last week.
I mean, I actually want to see how they beat the Flash.
Everyone that's in the Suicide Squad falls into one or two camps, right? There's those that would use guns, but wouldn't fit the game mechanics because they have their own guns.
Yeah, like
Captain Cold.
Bloodsport has his own like
Mr.
multi-gun thing. Like,
I mean, I think I think the only one is Peacemaker.
Yeah, but then again, he has his own gun.
Yeah, he has his own gun arsenal. Like, or they wouldn't use guns in the first place. Poison Ivy,
Ratcatcher,
Bane.
I swear.
And then the out of left wing, fucking like, really, these guys were part of the Suicide Squad. Bronze Tiger, Zatanna. Kitana.
Yeah.
Power Girl.
The more I talk
Power
about it,
Girl with a gun.
Are
you fucking shitting me?
The more I talk about it, the more the more disappointed I get.
A delay, yes, great. Polish, you can polish this
to make sure the game works.
You can make this the shiniest, fanciest game in the world.
I think the problem is,
unless you pull a fucking literal rabbit out of a hat.
This game, do you not think it feels like
this game was old? Something else? Yeah,
it feels old with the whole idea of like you shoot the shiny points on.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I literally said they move around like it's Crackdown.
Yeah, that's true. You had such a good.
That's what annoys me the most. They have a fantastic IP, an amazing IP that they can do whatever they want right with it, and they go and decide to make a live service where everyone plays the fucking same.
Oh yeah.
Why? This feels like it's a game. This feels like the mechanics of the game are for something completely fucking different. And the higher-ups decided, you're going to make this the Suicide Squad game.
Yes. That is exactly what they wanted to do.
That is literally what it sounds like. Like, this was a game that was going to be something completely different.
Yeah, because I remember them saying it was going to be like drop-in, drop-out co-op and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I remember that stuff.
Yeah.
I remember being like, oh my god, this is awesome. Like 4 characters that you can switch between, because I remember that.
Yeah.
Drop in, drop out co-op, up to 4 players, and each character is going to have their own, like, build.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, technically they still do have their own build,
but they just play exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look. I could build Shark King, for a complete blooming brawler build, he'll still jump around and swim in the air. Because that's the primary gameplay loop. And it's just... And then the whole thing of like, to kill said strong enemy, shoot shiny purple blob.
Yeah, Resident Evil 5 calls it once it's
It's what boss design's for.
Yeah.
Dear God, like that's PS fucking 2 and Xbox game design. Like, I'm pretty sure we've gone beyond that.
Yeah, we're past that now.
God, fucking these are the people that gave us the fucking. I mean, were the bosses the weakest part of the Arkham series?
Yeah,
that explains a lot.
Definitely.
That explains a lot.
They were definitely. I mean, not all of them. Some were good.
Yeah.
The Deadshot, like sneaky boss fight, that was cool. Fighting Bane in Arkham Asylum was cool, where you had to like jump on his back.
Yeah.
And like hit the. I still do not like the Arkham Asylum Bane design. It's absolutely horrend with his giant fucking tank on his back. What is that? What are you doing?
It was a bit.
Good Lord! Everybody else looked cool. Bane looked like a fucking. Oh, he looked like a Cabal of Destiny. Like, my God.
And let's be all honest, the Cabal are basically Warhammer Space Marines.
The new design for the Cabal.
The new designs do make them separate a little bit, but there's still an awful lot of Space Marine
in them. Fine. That's fine. Reet. Moving on. Well, actually, any other good fights? I'm trying to think. There were some really good boss fights, especially in Arkham City.
Yeah.
Arkham City had some really good boss fights.
Yeah, so maybe it wasn't the weakest part of the game.
I think it's just because like the final boss of Arkham Asylum
wasn't
good.
Yeah, wasn't.
And Clayface was pretty good. Like the final boss of Arkham City. Clayface was pretty good. He wasn't a perfect or absolutely amazing, but he was all right.
Yeah.
And Arkham Knight was
a thing.
The whole game was just it happened, and there were some good things about it, and there were some bad things about it. Batmobile. There were some bad things about it. All right.
Yeah.
The less we talk about that, the better.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. So we shall move on to something cool. There was the Capcom's Spotlight event.
Yeah.
Just recently. Nothing that we didn't know was already coming, but that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, there was no surprises, but we weren't expecting any.
They haven't. I wasn't expecting any sort of new announcements. The thing is, I don't think anybody was, because they've already got a lot of things coming out as it is. So
it's like we focus on the stuff that we know is coming out, and then once those things come out, we'll focus on the things that you don't know about yet.
There was one thing new, but it wasn't really a game.
Yeah.
But anyway, we shall just go through what was seen and what was cool. So we had the Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak for console.
Yeah.
Coming out in April.
Yeah.
I think it said. Yeah, it's coming out in April. So they showed off that. I think it's already out for PC and Nintendo Switch. I think.
Possibly. But
I could be wrong.
I know
it's out already not already, but I know it's out before April for Switch and Steam. So that looks really cool. More giant monsters to fight
with your doggo and
with the doggo.
Yeah.
With the doggo. We then had the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, which is going to be a collection 1 and 2.
It's the entire Mega Man thingy.
It's Battle Network.
Yeah,
collection.
It's the entire thing, which I think they were all released on the Game Boy Advance
and DS.
Yeah,
they basically there was 10 games altogether, so there's going to be 5 games on each.
A lot of content, but it's fine. Nice for you to go on to like.
I've never played a Mega Man game, and I never intend to.
Yeah.
So, hey, I know people.
If you like those games, there's a lot of it coming.
Yeah, I know people who do like that sort of stuff. We got some more Street Fighter 6.
The last
commentator.
And that was announced. And she
is Hikaru Takahashi, who is I believe she is. I think she's an I want to say like something to do with music,
Possibly.
like Idol sort of thing.
Possibly.
I think I'm not 100% sure.
We'll have to have a
But
look.
they were showing that off, which is cool. I do actually like the idea of having competitions.
When first announced, I thought it was going to be a gimmick, and it may end up just being a little gimmick. But there has been actual. It does look like they've actually put some effort into it,
Yeah.
for it to make it feel natural,
Yeah.
which is one hell of a feat.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to trying that.
I'm
feature.
looking forward to the wrestling game commentary, of where they say the same thing every now and then in the same fight,
multiple
times.
It depends on how much they've recorded, because you got to remember with the wrestling, like matches used to go for quite a few minutes, like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
5 to 10 minutes is an awful long time in the 2D beat 'em up scene.
That's true.
Like you'll go through quite a few series first.
Yeah, that's true. So that's a good Street Fighter. They also showed off the character select screen.
Yes.
I think we counted 12?
16.
16?
No, actually 18.
18 characters.
I think 18 characters. That might be, not counting any secret characters that may or may not be there, that might be the starting lineup. Which 18 is, well, still a little bit on the small side nowadays.
That's pretty
it's
decent.
Actually it's a decent roster size. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
And my biggest criticism for Street Fighter 5 was its launch lineup was
10.
10.
Yeah,
it was
only
tiny.
10. Yeah.
It was tiny, and to launch with nearly double that it's not a bad roster.
I think that's good. I think 15 to 20 characters is a decent start-up roster.
Yeah.
I think that's alright. After that, we got some more Exo Primal. Now, this is a game that I'm actually looking forward to, mainly because it looks like stupid fun.
Yes.
I'm a little bit worried about the live service element that they've put in there.
True, but it looks like they're going the War Thunder route. Not War Thunder.
The thing is,
Warframe.
I couldn't tell if it was like a separate suit or if it was just a skin for a suit. That's my problem. Because they didn't show them off, they just showed pictures.
The thing is, right, here's the thing, is like we saw at least 6 different suits.
Yeah, we saw 6 different suits.
And they all played differently. Like, you had the heavy with the shield, you had the one with like the giant guns,
and then
you had the one with sword ones, you had the one that was literally Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like, there does seem to, I do think it looks like, at least from my end, it looks like it's, I mean, there may be cosmetics for the different suits to make them look slightly different, but I do think like the whole suit thing that they're going with is like sort of like Warframe, where
so
like they will
DLC will be like
introduce new suits which have new combat mechanics and new abilities, which I kind of like the look of. And again, like you say, it looks like stupid fun because it is literally just you in a mech suit
fighting hordes of dinosaurs.
Yeah. What is there not to like about that?
Although again, I'm still angry at the redhead lass because I generally thought that was Dino Crisis.
Yes. God damn it, Capcom.
After that, we got another look at a Ghost Trick, which looks cool. It's Ghost Trick.
They
showed off a little bit more of like, basically because they really did have to rework this from the ground up because this game came out on the DS and it really utilizes the 2 screens.
Yeah.
And so they've really had to work.
Yeah, they've had to rework the entire game to make it fit like modern consoles and that.
So, yeah, this looks cool.
It does.
It does look cool.
They also mentioned that they've redone the soundtrack as well. So yeah, it's looking pretty darn good for those who like Ghost Trick.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people be like really excited for it.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, nice.
And it's a puzzler, which is there is a good market for that. Nice.
I mean, I'm looking forward to the next Professor Layton game.
Yeah,
when that finally comes out. After that, we got the Resident Evil Death Island CG movie reveal. Now, I know a lot of people really don't like or really don't care about the Resident Evil CG movies. I've actually watched. I think I've watched most of them. I think there's only one I haven't watched.
Which is the most recent one, I think.
Yeah. I don't mind them. I think they're okay. They're not anything special.
I mean, they're better than the live action.
They are much better than the live action movies.
So, you know.
And then last but not least, we got some more Resident Evil 4 stuff. We saw more of that. We also got the reveal that the demo is now out.
Yeah. The chainsaw
demo, which is basically I'm going to download it and I am going to just practice the parry.
Yes.
That is all I'm going to do. I may even stream my practicing the parry, just for the just for the lols.
To those people who don't know, Mr. Maxwell loves a game with a parry system. If you have a parry system, he will be interested.
Yeah, even if I suck at it. Like I really like Sekiro. I suck at that game. I really suck at that game. I'm not very good at it. But I do like a good parry system in games because parrying's cool.
It is pretty badass.
When you parry things, it's just like you always get that really cool noise.
Yeah.
That comes off, and then there's always like some really absolutely awesome animation.
Ghost of Tsushima, the ching.
Yeah.
The ching followed by the I've just cut you in half.
And you're dead. And it was just mint. I loved it. I love parrying. It's always fun. Also Dark Souls. I suck at the parrying in Dark Souls.
Yeah.
I can never get that timing. I don't know why.
But to be honest, as a person that did kind of get the parry in the first Dark Souls, the badass feeling of just walking up to an enemy and just basically have them charge up to you and then just parry their blow and just skewer them on your sword.
That noise that you get when you actually hit the parry is just so good. It's such a good noise.
Oh, it's so friggin'... Because you just look like an absolute badass when you do it. When you do it perfectly, and you do the whole thing of like the slow walk up.
It's like with Bloodborne, I got that stun attack down to a T.
Yeah.
Where you just shoot them just before they hit you.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Again, like especially the Soul series with its parry mechanics, like it gave you the opportunity to do the literal like anime slow walk up to a person and just decimate them. It was glorious. So yeah, Resident Evil 4 looks...
That's coming out at the end of the month.
Yep,
I will be getting that game. I cannot wait.
It looks good. It does, like I say, it looks like they've managed to... It does feel like they've managed to keep some of the corniness that makes people love Resident Evil 4 so much.
Yeah.
Like the Leon one-liners and our lovely little Spaniard who will sadly die. But able to update it to match the reimaginings of 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually looking forward to the Kroger fight. I want to see what they've done.
Kroger fight is literally going to be, so you've learnt the parry mechanic, have you?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm actually looking forward to that.
You've learned how to parry.
I want to see what that's like. But anyway, yeah, that was it. And I think that's going to be it for our chat.
Yeah.
I do hope you've enjoyed this one, if anybody has actually watched this. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye now.
Toodles.